Now on CoastTV News.
U.S. Wind's Coastal Impact, a major move by U.S. Wind proposing extensive community benefits for Delaware's coastal towns. What this means for the residents of Henlopen Acres, Rehoboth Beach, and beyond. Storm wreaks havoc, the aftermath of the recent storm, assessing the damage and the steps ahead. Delaware bets online. The dawn of online sports betting in Delaware, its initial impact, and what it means for gamblers and the state.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Heated debate, the South Bethany Council and the public going back and forth over a U.S. wind project. Good evening, I'm Mallory Metzner.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight focused on wind power.
Today's debate taking place in South Bethany. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe tells us what he heard during the town hall meeting.
The more of that fossil fuel generated energy that we can crowd out with clean energy, the less air pollution that we'll have here.
South Bethany had a town hall meeting today looking at the U.S. wind proposal. This project could put windmills about 10 miles out from the South Bethany beaches. And as a sweetener, along with the clean energy created, South Bethany would receive $100,000 a year for the next 20 years. While everyone on the council seemed to like the idea, the public on hand certainly did not.
The town council has never invited someone from the opposite side to actually counter some of the sales talk that we're getting here.
Why are they happening in January when we don't even generally have a regular council meeting and most people are away and you have a council person snowbirding in Florida?
Go protest the hell out of it. But we can't do anything about that.
Well, hopefully if I do, I see you there.
I talked to U.S. Wind Representative Mike Dumnier, who voiced his opinion on how this will help job growth.
There are an incredible amount of supply chain jobs that will happen in this area because of the project.
While this does sound nice, Policy Director David Stevenson of Caesar Rodney Institute has a different opinion on the project.
The biggest concern for South Bethany ought to be what it's going to do to the view, because that affects, and even according to the federal government, it's going to have an impact on tourism and property values.
After listening in on the South Bethany meeting, it seems pretty clear to me that the majority of the public at the meeting had a problem with the U.S. wind. The council did not make a decision yet, but will be on January 25th. I'm Kevin Zappe on CoastTV News.
The next coast town that is having an offshore wind farm meeting to talk about the community benefits agreement is Bethany Beach. The meeting is taking place on January 12th at 2 p.m. at the town hall. According to the town, if they participate in this agreement, the town will receive $100,000 per year over 20 years. Payments will start when construction begins. The town says the Marwin Wind Farm is located south of Bethany Beach and off the coast of Ocean City.
Flooded streets and scattered debris, that was the sight this morning for many living on the coast after last night's severe tropical storm. In Bethany Beach, the beach was barely visible due to the intense waves caused by those severe winds. One local who lost power during the storm says it was quick, but it was powerful.
It was a quick, hard hitter. I mean, people weren't outside at 8, 9 o'clock seeing it happen, but you could hear it. There was crazy gusts of wind. Rain was really coming down. Every time you stepped outside, you're getting blown away. You didn't really know how bad it was unless you were out there. It was a pretty quick, hard-hitting storm.
And to be clear, those were tropical storm winds, not an actual tropical storm. The storm did not stop people from enjoying their morning on the boardwalk. People could be seen looking at the strong waves, mesmerized by their power.
While the storm has passed, Fenwick Island has widespread flooding on all Bayside roads. The town says the dunes were held, but the tide did come to the dune fencing. As you can see on your screen here, the Bayside was in high tide cycle from this morning. The town says they expect the next high tide cycle this evening to bring widespread flooding. Officials are urging extreme caution when driving through the town.
Now across Delmarva, following the Tuesday night storm in Bridgeville, the town said there was minor storm damage. According to the town, the Bridgeville branch was full with water, but it should be receding throughout the day. The town is advising drivers to use caution on roads with standing water, especially Railroad and North Cannon Streets. Cannon will remain closed between Emory and Oak Streets until further notice. Also, the town says a stop sign at Delaware and South Main Street was lost, and it will be replaced soon.
In Dorchester today, cars were driving on flooded roads in Hoopers Island. Streets from this morning were filled with water there, along with the front yards was heavy flooded from last night's storm. There was water overflowing at the boat docks. The Maryland Department of Transportation was in the area this morning cleaning up the debris.
Due to the rising tides, the city of Salisbury has been forced to close down streets this afternoon. Barricades are placed on Lake Street between Route 50 and West Main, along Burton and King Streets. The city says Fitzwater Street remains closed between West Main and Pearl. According to the city, the inspection of Baptist and Main is closed in all 4 directions. East Market Street is closed between Baptist and Polar Hill Streets, and Market Street is closed west of the Wycomico County Library next to Lot 11. Crews will continue to monitor the situation and make necessary changes to traffic patterns.
Even though the worst of the storm is over now, DelDOT says there are still some closures to be aware of. A half a dozen roadways are still closed due to mostly water on the road. Luckily, DelDOT says not many trees have fallen down, but a couple dozen were cleaned up from roadways in Sussex County early this morning. DelDOT says drivers should be prepared for potential damage as the day progresses.
We are largely out of the worst of it. We're still continuing to monitor conditions on our roads across lower Delaware and being ready to respond should any more issues pop up.
DelDOT says if you do see a tree down or flooded roads, to report that to its hotline by dialing pound 77.
The major storm that rolled through Delmarva Tuesday into this morning caused many issues for those of us that had hit the roadways. Flooding seemed to be the biggest problem. The Delaware State Police had to respond to a number of storm-related calls.
We did respond to numerous calls throughout the state, and in particular here in Sussex County, for traffic hazards such as trees down, debris in the road, and water in the roadways. And we have had some calls for the same thing today.
The Delaware State Police did inform CoastTV that they saw an uptick in crashes overnight, but they were not able to confirm just how many of those were storm-related. And this brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how should the community respond to storm damage? Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour.
Look at your screen here. Earlier tonight, the majority was saying improve infrastructure. That's still the winner of this poll right now. That's up to 80% now. 2% for increased response funding. 11% say better planning. 7% think community support would help.
Now, if you haven't voted yet, you still can get in on the action. Go to coasttvnews.com or use the Coast TV mobile app, and we're going to show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11. We're taking a live look into the Ocean City area right now. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us with a look at our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Charlie, Mallory. Right now, we still have some lingering leftover advisories that we need to pass along to you. But for the most part, we're going to catch our breath for at least a day before another round of rain and dangerous winds may come calling or knocking on our door for the weekend. In Seaford currently, courtesy of our Tidal Health camera, we're holding at 49 degrees and we're expecting scattered clouds, temperatures falling from 41 by 9 o'clock down to 39 by 10 o'clock. We do have at least 7/100ths of an inch of rain that fell since the midnight calculating of those showers. But here's a look at the clouds and radar, and we're looking very clear as far as any kind of precipitation is concerned. And this is more so you can just calm down and don't start thinking there's another day that's coming immediately. But we do still have a couple of advisories that are still active for us, particularly with the coastal flood advisory in effect for Sussex until 7 o'clock. We have a few more we need to pass along to you, which we will during our main weather segment. Until then, back to you, Charlie.
Paul, we have an update tonight on a deadly crash in Georgetown. Delaware State Police have identified 39-year-old Sonia Bridell as the victim. This took place on Monday night. According to the police, the accident happened on DuPont Boulevard when Bridell was hit by 2 cars. Troopers say Bridell entered the path of a southbound Volkswagen and then was struck, then hit by a following Honda when she was thrown into the right lane. Police say that drivers involved were not hurt. The case is still under investigation.
New in Delaware, the Department of Education has unveiled new tools aimed at improving the safety and maintenance of public school facilities statewide. These tools, a result of Senate Bill 270, will allow school districts to standardize assessments of their buildings, making sure they remain clean, safe, and functional for both staff and students. Also, the Division of Public Health is introducing an indoor air quality monitoring program with a new webpage offering resources and a complaint portal as well. The state says each district must now annually provide a facility inspection finding and maintenance plan starting this May.
The Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control is soliciting new water quality improvement projects. Under the bipartisan infrastructure law, project proposals will be eligible for two priority lists, either the Clean Water State Revolving Fund or the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. The department will hold a virtual community workshop at 2 p.m. on January 17th. Notices of intent for project initiatives must be submitted to DENREC Environmental Finances by 4:30 on February 16th.
Delaware's mortgage relief program is changing. According to the Delaware State Housing Authority, no more applications for homeowner association fees, insurance, or lot rent will be accepted. That starts January 31st. The Housing Authority says help is still available for mortgages, taxes, and some utilities. Still, funds are expected to run out by fall 2024.
Delaware Republican lawmakers are raising questions about electric car vehicle mandates and the power of government. Several bills aim to change the way some laws are passed this legislative session.
In the newsroom is CoastTV News reporter Charles Reiner. Charles, both parties had a lot to say on these topics.
Charlie and Mallory, the General Assembly went back into session yesterday, but state Republicans say they have a lot on their to-do list in the coming months. Now, state Republicans held a meeting this morning that was titled Good Governance. They discussed a package of bills that would require the General Assembly to approve regulations put forward by state agencies, such as the electric car mandate that Governor Carney announced back in 2022. One state Democrat told CoastTV, quote, "In considering proposals to give the General Assembly the additional task of approving every regulation, it's important to recognize that introducing extra layers of approval for each agency regulation could impede the progress on crucial legislative matters within the limited session days available to the legislature," end quote. But one Republican said today that a decision like this mandate needs to go through a proper process.
I guess the point of this, though, if this kind of thing is going to have such a huge effect on the everyday lives of Delawareans, then that's the kind of thing that should absolutely positively get an up or down vote in the General Assembly by the people's elected officials in the General Assembly, not from a bureaucrat who answers solely to a governor, with respect, who's not running for re-election as governor.
We will be hearing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle on CoastTV News at 11. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Charles, and we are just getting started tonight.
Humane Animal Partners receives a waterproof feeding station. See how it's benefiting shelter cats.
And it looks like another day of rainy and windy weather is indeed on the way for this weekend. More on that in a moment.
New traffic and parking changes in Rehoboth Beach. From pedestrian programs to parking safety updates and signage, get insights into these citywide improvements when we return in just 60 seconds.
Beat the winter rush with new roofing from Window World of Delmarva. Get a new CertainTeed roofing system for only $192.94 a month.
No matter the size of the project, you can trust Window World of Delmarva to get it done right.
Call now for a free estimate today.
16 years ago, we founded Community Bank Delaware with the goal of providing high-quality banking services to our local community. Here you meet with decision makers, people just like you who live in and love this community. We provide the newest banking technologies to our customers, supported by our local team of banking professionals. Our bank serves clients throughout Sussex County, and we continue to grow, all thanks to you. Community Bank Delaware, where community matters.
Beat the winter rush with new windows from Window World of Delmarva. Get a 10-window package for only $121.81 per month.
No matter the size of the project, you can trust Window World of Delmarva to get it done right.
Remember, first to call, first to install.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
In Rehoboth Beach, major traffic and parking changes are underway. The Board of Commissioners has approved several recommendations from the Rossi Group's preliminary study. These include a pedestrian pilot program on King Charles Avenue. That work includes installing temporary crosswalks and curb bumps, clearer 30-minute parking space markings. We talked about that a little yesterday, and additional pedestrian safety signage. The city plans to test parking space striping. Potential changes like metered parking at Deauville Beach, along with a single daily parking permit, are also being considered.
Staying in Rehoboth, tomorrow morning, DelDOT will start routine maintenance on the Rehoboth Avenue drawbridge. It begins at 10 a.m. Drivers and pedestrians can expect periodic bridge openings.
Public hearings have been set for the site plans of both Henlopen Bluff, located on Gills Neck Road, and White's Pond, located on Monroe Avenue Extended. The hearings will be held tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Rollins Center in Lewis. A separate hearing for White's Pond that was scheduled for February 5th to consider reducing lot coverage and amending a city code.
After this weekend's rain and winds, it looks like we're going to get a rehash. Not only that, but get set for the temperatures to tumble into the teens by next Tuesday.
Oh, porches. Hello, aren't you the guy I see on TV, the porch protection guy?
Yeah, I would
So they're
say-
made of marine grade materials that last for years?
Yeah, I would
And
go-
they say I could use my porch all year round?
I think
And
so.
they keep the dirt, pollen, and rain and wind out?
And
And the
so-
custom made right here locally?
They are.
I got to run, but it was really nice talking to you.
Well, it was nice talking to you too.
Call or visit porchprotection.com for your free quote.
Open 6 days a week with convenient hours. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, we're highlighting clothing our kids in memory of Gray Branson. Learn about Kiwanis Club's community spirit. Plus, tune in for intriguing insights and spill the tea. Coast Life tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
Next Drew, the legend Billy Porter. Every time you've been on the show, we've had flowers.
Thursday at noon on Coast TV.
Ring in the new year with new floors from Carpet and Tile Mart Supercenters.
The selection is incredible.
The salespeople take the time to find what I want.
Right now, save up to 50% Mart-wide on carpets, hardwood, waterproof vinyl, laminate, area rugs, and more. All in stock to take home today. Pick, pay, take it away, or have it installed as soon as you save. For free. Hurry in before the sale is over. Only at Airbase Carpet and Tile Mart.
Start your new year off right with a new bathroom from Coastal Bath. The only Bath Planet dealer on Delmarva with the Good Housekeeping Seal 2-year money-back guarantee. It's our annual New Year savings. Take $2,024 off your new bathroom project and no payments and no interest until 2025.
How do I like the new bath? I love it. My wife loves it. I highly recommend Coastal Bath. They do an awesome job.
Local and family owned. Call Coastal Bath today.
Delmarva's Rock Station, 93.5, The Beach.
Well, it looks like 2024 is going to be filled with just a wave upon wave of storms that will continue to, at the very least, catch our attention. We have another set of winds and some possible torrential rains headed our way by the time we get to Saturday. But first of all, courtesy of our Irish Eyes camera in Lewis, we're at 47 degrees currently, and we're expecting to go from 46 at 6 o'clock down to about 44 at 8 o'clock, down to 40 degrees by 10 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. Yesterday, indeed, a very tumultuous day, and we're going to catch up on some of the damage due to that storm that we haven't already covered in the newscast. We're at 48 degrees right now is what it feels like in Rehoboth. It feels like 47 in Milton, as well as Bethany Beach, and 45 in Greenwood, Seaford, Georgetown, and in Redden. So we're feeling the mid-40s in a major way for right now. We're relatively clear As far as cloud cover is concerned, of course, the precipitation, the rain is out of the picture altogether. A wider view shows you that we still have concern for gusty winds along the entire East Coast from a wide standpoint. One more wide standpoint to show you. This is an example of, in the last, let's say, 24 hours, all of the structural damage that was a result of this storm that plowed through and affected us as well. In Laurel, for example, we had some tree problems that were related to the storm. In Georgetown as well, situation. And then also close to Highway 28, we're looking at in Frankfort, we had some problems with some downed trees there causing some problems along the roads. Now, in addition to that, we still currently have a few leftover advisories. For example, flood warning is still in effect for Bridgeville, Seaford, Laurel, Hardscrabble, Georgetown until about 7:45. Then we have a coastal flood advisory, the possibility of it, and it's subsiding quickly as we go along for the rest of Sussex County for the most part, till about 7 o'clock for the next 40 minutes or so. Gale winds still a concern off of the coast for Sussex, as well as right off the coast for Ocean City, and closer to home in Ocean City, we still have the high surf advisory that's active for Accomack as well as Worcester. So once again, waves are really treacherous right now. I know a lot of surfers say, dude, perfect time to go out there. Dude, let's not do that. Let's wait until maybe, tomorrow at least, not now. Because see, the wind's still registering in the 46 to 45 mile per hour winds, even though we've only received, let's say, 7/100ths of an inch of rain. As far as our expectations are concerned, for our futurecast, Thursday we start off at 33, but we end up at 50s going to the afternoon. Friday we start off in the 30s again into the 40s, but we'll have cloud cover staying a bit thick on us on Friday. And then our rain possibility for Saturday, we're not looking at much more than, let's say, over a half an inch in some areas. And our winds will pick up Friday about near 40, but then by Friday evening, near 50 mile per hour winds. So that's why we have to watch out for that first alert day on that day. Here is a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast. The first alert day for Saturday and Tuesday, high of 32. Then we dip down to 18.
Paul, Delaware Lottery has announced the launch of its first online sports books alongside of the relaunch of 3 online casinos. This move, a year after Maryland's successful online betting introduction, is in response to rising demand and a new contract with Rush Street Interactive. Officials emphasize responsible gambling, noting the importance of safeguards against addiction. This expansion into online sports betting is expected to enhance state revenues.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Our game of the night takes us to Georgetown for a Henlopen showdown in wrestling. Dover facing Sussex Central for the first time this season. The Senators are hoping to move to 500 on the season, while the Golden Knights are aiming to stay undefeated. Dover is 1-2 on the season and started off with a 3-point win over First State Military Academy. The Senators are now looking to bounce back after a 60-point team loss to Smyrna last week. On the flip side, Sussex Central is going for their 3rd Henlopen victory after knocking off Cape and Polytech so far. The Golden Knights head coach Shane Miller says his squad doesn't have experience with Dover yet, but he is very confident in his team to perform at a high level, and the keys to the game are for his athletes to stay within themselves and trust their training. Check out this match live on DSN at 7 p.m., and we'll also have highlights on the final score at 10:30 tonight. To the NBA, the Philadelphia 76ers are aiming to end a 2-game losing skid and taking on the Atlanta Hawks tonight, but without Joel Embiid. The reigning MVP is missing his 2nd straight game due to swelling in his left knee. He's been out 8 games so far this season, but in 27 games played, he has led the league, averaging 34.6 points a game. Philly is hoping to bounce back after losing 3 of their last 4 games. The Hawks have gone 9-7 versus Eastern Conference teams this season. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. from Atlanta. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
20 years ago, Farmers Bank of Willers opened branches to serve Ocean City and West OC. Now, we're making it official with permanent locations to better serve our customers in Worcester County. While other banks are closing branches, we're banking on Ocean City's future. Sure, we have a world-class app, but sometimes there's no substitute for helpful, friendly people. Announcing our grand opening on 87th Street, North Ocean City, and coming in 2024, West OC on Route 611. Switch to the Farmers Bank of Willards, where people matter.
Shop Johnny Janosik's Winter Home Sale and get a fresh new look for your home. You'll save up to 50%, plus 0% APR till 2026, and instant discounts up to $500. Now through this holiday Monday at Johnny Janosic.
Not happy with your utility bill? Help save energy by replacing your outdated, inefficient windows. At Spicer Brothers, we install new replacement windows and new construction series windows, built for extreme weather and high energy efficiency. And quality installation is just as important as the window itself.
And you can have peace of mind on your new windows with the Spicer Brothers Platinum Plus lifetime warranty.
And right now, buy 2 windows and get 1 free, plus no interest and no payments for 18 months. Spicer Brothers, because you deserve the best.
Get the CoastTV First Alert Weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free CoastTV First Alert Weather app, brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
If you're not sleeping well, Johnny Janosic is here to help. Purchase any mattress of $1699.95 or more and get a free pillow set, a free sheet set, and $400 off any Rise Home Power Base. Shop Johnny Janosic's Mattress World.
It's time to experience an extraordinary lineup of entertainment at the Ocean City Performing Arts Center. Enjoy performances by the Four Phantoms in concert on February 4th, Wheel of Fortune Live on February 29th, The Simon and Garfunkel Story March 18th, and The Price is Right Live on April 1st. The excitement is building, and now it's your turn to be a part of it. Secure your seats at ococean.com/pack and join us for the most amazing season yet. Don't miss out. Come experience the magic of live performances all in one place at the Ocean City Performing Arts Center. See you there.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
The Humane Animal Partners received a heartwarming gift for local feral cats. The shelter received a custom-built feeding station courtesy of Julia Graham, a devoted animal lover and supporter. The station is named Club Chumley in memory of Julia's beloved rescue cat. HAP says with the Tuesday night storm, the station, its waterproof design, helped make sure furry friends stay fed and safe.
Looks like we're going to be safe from bad weather, at least for the rest of tonight. Not so much over the weekend because another storm is headed our way. But we do have some leftover concerns for flooding throughout Sussex. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
We're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great night.